And this is another topic I wanted to discuss, or at least speak my piece about. So this is in relation to the Game Awards as well. This is in relation to the Best RPG award. It is the only award that I think that Clair Obscure should not have won, because not because it's not a good game, but because it is not an RPG. It is not. It is a JRPG. Well, JRPGs are RPGs. They shouldn't be. They have this. They have a. They share a name, but they are not common in almost anything else. So I'm about to autistically screech for the next 10 to 15 minutes about categorizations and the differences between JRPGs and Western RPGs and why they really need to be two separate categories at award shows like these, and just in general need to be categorized differently and not with the RPGs that were in this same category for nominations. And keep in mind, this is not just me that believes this. All right, and I'm not saying this to disparage either genre. All right, I personally am not into JRPGs at all. I don't like them. I just don't like the tropes. I don't like a lot of the linearity of them. I don't like the set characters. The fact that you can't really build out a class in your own way or pick a class and build into it. I don't like any of that stuff. But I do like RPGs that are not JRPGs. Generally for reasons that aren't in most JRPGs, like player agency, being able, both in terms of picking a class, like gameplay and story. Gameplay wise, being able to pick a class or like dual class or spec into a certain class and pick certain things and choose the way you play that way, as well as through narrative, whether that be dialogue choices or narrative choices. That's why I like RPGs. JRPGs usually don't have either of those two things, so I don't like them. Clair Obscure, even though it is a JRPG, well, it's a French RPG, it's a JRPG and everything but the way it looks. I like it, but which is why I do think that it is really good, because if I can get someone like me who doesn't like those games, even just to like it, even though I don't love it like everyone else does, it's probably doing something right. But regardless, it's not an RPG. I think Western RPGs, because it is Western RPGs mostly that differ. And again, I'm not saying this to disparage JRPGs at all. There are people who make JRPGs that agree with me on this. I've read interviews and heard interviews about people who agree with me that it needs to be a separate category, because the reasons why people play most JRPGs are not the same reasons why a lot of people play other RPGs, like CRPGs and other RPGs just in general. And we could get into the weeds about like different categorizations as well for like action RPGs and like what's actually an RPG and what's not. And I have a lot of interesting opinions on that as well. Like, I don't think the Witcher games are RPGs. But I do think that Cyberpunk 2077 is an RPG. Again, because the Witcher games, you can't spec into it. There's no player agency in that game as far as gameplay goes. You're stuck being a Witcher. You're playing similarly no matter what. And there is some narrative decisions, but it's not that much. And it's not as much as I typically would like. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But my point is, two games are considered part of the same genre. They have to be similar. I think that goes without saying, right? I dare you to look at me straight in the eye and tell me with a straight face that Clair Obscure has more in common with Kingdom Come Deliverance or Avowed than it has in common with something like Final Fantasy or Persona. Like, you can't do it, because it's so obviously not right. It's not. You can't sit there and say that a game like Clair Obscure belongs in the same genre as a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You can't do it. The only thing that those two games have in common is that they both have a leveling system. That's it. It needs to be its own separate category, and it's not to denigrate it. It's because the things that it places importance on and the things that it tries to do well are different than what a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is trying to do well, or even less acclaimed games like Avowed, which I liked and no one else seemed to like. Well, I won't get into that, but and it's crazy because I thought this was already known. Like I thought people already knew this. Like I thought it was just like a commonly accepted fact. Like yeah, they're their own separate things. Like if you're into games like Final Fantasy or Persona or whatever fucking JRPGs that people play, I don't play them, so I don't know. But they say that they're into JRPGs. They don't say I'm into RPGs. I mean, unless you're just trying to be pedantic or you're super casual and don't get the difference, and you genuinely do think that they're the same, which makes me think that Jeff probably doesn't play a lot of RPGs because if he did, he would know this. But yeah, so apparently, people do need to be taught, and they do need to learn that yeah, it deserves to be its own category. It's literally they're no different from each other than like a tactics game would be to like a fighting game. Like yeah, they both involve strategy, so they be both the same genre? No, no one would say that. So why are we saying that JRPGs are the same thing as like fucking other RPGs or Western RPGs, if you want to call them that? Like why? I guess I just wanted to make this video because I know it seems stupid to make a fucking 10-minute long or whatever, however long this video ends up being, video about something so stupid as a classification, but it drives me up a wall, and I know it's stupid. But it drives me nuts when people try to lump these two kinds of games together when they don't at all belong. And again, not to denigrate either side. It's just they're two different types of games, and what someone's looking for or gets out of a JRPG is not the same as a Western one, and that's just how it is. Not to say one's better than the other. I mean, I prefer one over the other personally, but some are the other way around and they prefer JRPGs and they don't like Western, whatever, you know. But that's my point. The fact that there can be that distinction and people can have that line to where it's like, oh, well, I like this group but not that group. It only stands to reason. They should be two separate fucking categories, Jeff. And again, I thought this was widely known. I can't believe that I have to fucking explain this in the year 2025. It's crazy to me. Look, that's about it for this video. Hopefully this is the last fucking video I have to make on this topic. Because it really does drive me nuts. It drives me insane. Because like everyone already makes the distinction, man. I know it's inconsequential to most people. But like, dude, I think that both genres are like well established enough and respected enough by a lot of different people that they both deserve their own category. You don't need to fucking smash them up like this and try to like amalgamate. You don't need to do that, dude. They're both popular genres. They're both popular and respected enough that you can do two separate categories. Just make best JRPG or JRPG inspired game, and then best Western RPG, if you want to call it that. No, I don't like separating it by regions, but I mean it's the genre names are kind of established at this point, so I don't really know what you would do, especially because there's a lot of people in the West that make JRPGs and a lot of people in Japan that make Western RPGs. Like I wouldn't consider the Souls games JRPGs at all. But they are RPGs technically, even though there's not much choice in narrative. There is choice in class and things like that. It's kind of on the line, but I consider them. But so I don't like dividing them up into regions like that. But if someone has a better idea in the comments, they can say it there. What should we call the ones that are Western ones typically, or that originated in the West, and then the RPGs that originated or were originally being made in the East? Because like I said, nowadays it's kind of a lot more worldwide, and people from all over the world make games from all different kinds of genres, so it's kind of stupid to limit it based on region. But again, if you have a better idea, let me know, but just don't fucking amalgamate them anymore. We're done with that. I thought we were done with it already, but apparently people like Jeff need to be fucking reminded, or they need to fucking be taught. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you agree with me, comment like, subscribe, add me on Discord, please, more than anything else. My username is below. Please add me. I need people to play games with. I need friends. I'm fucking so lonely, please. But anyway, that's it for this video. Until next time, this is Unfiltered Ascent, signing out.